Well, hello there, and welcome to the Orion Oracle. I have not been here in quite some time. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to continue with tarot readings because I was doing them as I started the channel pretty much at the same time that I started my business in real life. And it just got a bit much. I was doing weekly, I believe, or monthly readings for all the signs. So that has ceased to exist now. And I was kind of getting into more spiritual aspects and delving into the meaning of the cards. I did one about the Lover's card. So check that out. I'll be doing more. So this channel is going to be a mixture of both tarot readings. I will be reintroducing those now. And spiritual dives, esoteric meanings and symbolisms. So if you like those things, take a look at them as we progress in this channel of mine. Take what you like, leave what you don't, okay? I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what the universe wants me to do here, okay? So today we are brought to the new moon in Scorpio, okay? I will be doing tarot readings for the collective and kind of seeing where it goes. I kind of talk about a bunch of different things. We'll see, okay? So I'll be doing it for both the new moons and the full moons for now. Okay, so what do we have here? Today is the 18th. Tomorrow is the Wednesday, the 19th, and that is when we have this this new moon in Scorpio. It is at 28 degrees of Scorpio, so it is close to the anaretic degree, which is the 29th degree. This is the last degree of the sign, which is the most potent and it's the most powerful, okay? And it can cause it's like the archetype of the sign on steroids, all right? So with Scorpio, we have the scorpion that it starts off with before it transforms into the eagle, okay? The eagle soars and then it turns into the phoenix. And I think this is a very big theme right now and it's very fitting to the times that we're going into. Apparently this is a very, very potent new moon. What is a new moon? Well, new moon is when you cannot see the moon in the sky, right? It's the dark moon, okay? So it is a perfect time. It's a reset for the moon. It's a time to plant seeds. And then as the moon waxes and gets larger, what you have planted and what you have manifested grows. You nurture it and you bring it to existence. And depending on where Scorpio is lying in your birth chart, for me, I'm a Virgo rising. So Scorpio for me is in the 3rd house. So, you know, depending on where it would be in the 3rd, each house has different meanings for yourself. So if you don't know what that is, you can go online and look up a free birth chart calculator. It is helpful if you know the time of your birth, because then it can give you a more exact reading as to what constellation or sign was on the horizon as you were born, and that's your rising sign, okay? And the rising sign is it's actually more a reflective and accurate depiction of you as a person. To me, like, I really associate it as an Aries, and I kind of still do in a lot of different aspects. The sun sign is your personality, right? And I still do, but with respects to the rising sign, that's how you can kind of navigate the astrological climate and how it affects you more based on your rising sign. okay? And I find that I'm resonating more with my rising sign as I'm getting older for some reason. Okay, and I do resonate with my moon sign as well, which is Sagittarius. But that being said, let's just keep moving along, okay? So it's Scorpio is at 28 degrees. This is the new moon, okay? And I'm just got a couple notes here to touch on with respects to the astrology. Okay, so this new moon is considered to be very potent if you follow a lot of astrologers. And if you can look it up on some of the online astrology chart creating apps, whatever you want to call them, softwares or whatnot, it is opposing Uranus. Okay, so this is a big deal. And oppositions means that there's tension, okay? And Uranus was in Gemini, okay? It had just exited Taurus, but now Uranus is retrograde and it is gone back into Taurus. Now, what is Taurus? Taurus is money. Taurus is finance. Taurus is agriculture. Taurus is the earth, okay? So Uranus is opposing the new moon in Scorpio. Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus is sudden changes. Now, this can be good or bad, okay? But sudden changes, disruptions, okay? Sudden upheavals, things just going upside down, okay? Sudden changes, okay? And it's on the anaretic degree now of Taurus. So that's amplified, okay? Everything Taurus is amplified. So you might be seeing disruptions in the financial system, in finance, in crypto, perhaps. And, you know, it's opposing Scorpio, the new moon, which is all about transformation and rebirth, right? So we could see sudden transformations with these things. This could also mean earthquakes. And this new moon is also happening at the same time that there's a water trine going on right now, which is a very good, positive astrological configuration, okay? So we have the moon and the sun are together, which means it's the new moon. It's a new moon, right? Because the moon is in front or behind the sun. You can't see it, okay? Don't get mad at me for not knowing that. It's probably behind, okay? Because we also have, we're in Mercury retrograde right now as well. Okay, so things not going on, things that are happening that are disrupting plans, disruptions in communication, power outages, cyber attacks, okay? And this is all, so Mercury's conjunct the new moon. So the sun and the moon, it's Mercury cazimi, because the Mercury's behind the sun. So it's like this, like, 1, 2, 3 planets kind of thing, right? And that's all opposing Uranus and Taurus. So there could be cyber attacks, certain upheavals, communication going down, power outages perhaps, financial disruptions. And, you know, the new moon, like I said, seeds the next kind of, until the next new moon, okay? And so we have the sun, the moon, and Mercury retrograde all at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Then we have Black Moon Lilith is also at, she's a little bit on a couple degrees away from the moon and the sun and Mercury. She's at 26 degrees of Scorpio. So that can indicate a lot of feminine rising energy. Okay. And then in Pisces, we have Saturn at 25 degrees retrograde and Neptune at 29 degrees retrograde. So this is the water trine, okay? So Saturn and Neptune at the end of Pisces. Okay, they were in Aries and now they're both retrograde. They're moving back to Pisces, very dreamlike, maybe psychic abilities are heightened right now, telepathy, people becoming a little bit more inclined to spiritual things, and it's at the energetic degree there as well, right? So everything is heightened, okay? Neptune is conjunct Saturn, so dissolving of borders or perhaps the dissolution of the container of like the ocean, so maybe flooding, okay? Then we have Jupiter in Cancer at 25 degrees retrograde. Jupiter is actually in his best element in Cancer, so this is very good. It's Jupiter expands. A lot of planets in retrograde, so this is a very internal and reflective new moon, okay, especially being it in Scorpio, right? And then we have the Sun and Moon and Mercury in Scorpio. So that being said, there are also there are some asteroids that are at 28 degrees Scorpio too, which is around that, which is Typhoon and Deucalion. And this is all about flooding and water storms. So pay attention, perhaps there's no specific area that I can tap into, but just keep that in mind if you're going on vacation or anything, right? We have Mercury retrograde, transportation malfunctions, aviation malfunctions, internet going down, flooding, storms, hurricanes, things like this, okay? So that is the kind of atmosphere and environment we are in, considering the astrological weather, okay? So let's go in. So, you know, I'm gonna just do a little reading here for the collective, and you know, as we progress with this series of doing the new moons and the full moons, I might pick some topics to pull cards on about. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you'd like me to do with respects to staying within, you know, the new moons and the full moons, like on a collective level, maybe some themes perhaps, or people that in the world, or just in general. Yeah, this, like, I'm just gonna go with the flow here, okay? So I usually, like, it might take some time sometimes, the way that I shuffle the cards, because I use numerology based on the date. And I'm having a little bit of an internal struggle here with respects to the calendar, because it's not the real calendar, and how I like navigate, like how many times I shuffle based on the date, knowing, so say for example, today is November, or the new moon is November the 19th, right? So technically November on this calendar that we follow is the 11th month, right? So 1 + 1 is 2, right? So there, and then I do 2 + 19, which is 10. And then 2025 is a 9 year. So it all ends up adding up to 3, okay? But November technically is the 9th month, okay? November is 9, right? Like October is 8, not 10, and December is 10. So, but for the sake of my sanity and for the sake of your sanity, let's just keep it at what it is right now. And then maybe we'll do a little thing about the calendars one day, okay? Okay, so I'm going to cut the cards. We're going to use the big Rider-Waite deck today. And then I'm going to end the reading with a pull from my Hekatean path, Oracle of the Hekatean path deck, because it's a new moon and Hekate is associated with the new moon, the dark archetype, okay? It's a liminal space. So, like I said, 11 is 2, 19 is 10, 2025 is 9, so that all ends up to being 21. 2 + 1 is 3, so here we go. 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's see what we got here. The Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor is 4. I'm going to pick 5 cards. The Emperor is 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, Emperor. And we have Temperance. So major arcana cards so far. Okay, things are being alchemized. Maybe leadership on a global level is alchemized. And I want to touch base about Pluto and Aquarius right now briefly. I'll get the cards first, and then I can't concentrate, can't talk and count at the same time, unfortunately. So Temperance is 14. So let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of Swords. Okay. And there's rain. Okay, and there's water, right? So the 3 of Swords is 3. And 1, 2, 3. Knight of Wands. I do 3 for core cards. And 3. Okay. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm getting here is a couple different messages. I'm getting here that there is an alchemization going on. There is a rebirth, like the Scorpio rebirth happening here. And I believe Mars is also in Sagittarius right now. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. But right now, as you can see here with the Temperance card, this is Archangel Raphael. And he is transferring here water into different cups or urns. And this is the alchemization. This is the transformation of Scorpio, from the scorpion to the eagle and to the phoenix. Okay. And I'm reading intuitively at this time. Okay. Because we are, as a collective, going through a collective transformation, and we need to alchemize. We need to alchemize the pain and the suffering. Okay, this is, yeah. So what I wanted to get it to with respects to Pluto and Aquarius is that we are in the transformation, we're in the transition between ages and aeons, okay? So we were in the age of Pisces before, okay? And we're moving into the age of Aquarius, right? Age of Aquarius. So Pluto kind of started this to be really salient here on Earth. Pluto is the planet of rebirth and transformation. It is Hades, right? In the Greek pantheon, Pluto in the Roman. But that Pluto transitioning into Aquarius out of Capricorn. Capricorn is kind of like this, okay? Capricorn is the top-down authoritarian structures. I know this is Aries, I know this is the Emperor, but this is the story I'm getting here, okay? So as we move from the top-down authoritarian structure, the age of Pisces, the age of, so top-down authoritarian structure can be governments, right? Leaders, kings, prime ministers, presidents, that kind, oligarchs, right? Or the church or organized religion, right? Because this is a method of control to the people, okay? And I'm not saying anything against people that believe in Jesus or believe in Muhammad or believe in, you know, different sorts of organized religion and follow them. But if you want to, like, the Gnostics had a really great understanding of this is, and the Gnostics were Christians. I think there's a bunch of different Gnostic sects as well, but the Gnostics believed that the true Jesus, because there were, this is in my lover's card dissection if you want to check it out. There are a lot of banned Bibles, not banned Bibles, there's a lot of banned books and Gospels, okay? That the canon, like that Rome didn't want to add because it would disrupt their narrative, okay? And this is the thing that's happening now as Pluto moves into Aquarius. We are moving away from top-down authoritarian power and structure over the people into a more egalitarian, a more people-oriented way of living. Now, obviously, this is not going to happen right away. Okay, it's about I think Pluto will be in Aquarius for about 20 years or so. But that being said, as we see that there's, you know, it seems to be that things are getting worse, right? The world is getting worse, and now we're seeing like the totalitarian reaches of the governments, especially in Canada, especially in United Kingdom, a lot of France, a lot of the Western countries that promoted freedom of speech, that were built on democracy, on the government for the people, are kind of fulfilling because they've been corrupted, they have been co-opted, and they are losing power. But it doesn't seem like that, okay? With the thing with Mr. Epstein there, having all these clients that they don't want to release because that would make everything crumble, right? And so the authorities that be right now, they are going to be doubling down. They are doubling down because they're losing power, and they don't, if you have that kind of power, a lot of people would not want to lose it. And they're going to do everything that they can to maintain it and to maintain their global new world order, okay? Because they get paid a lot of money to sell their people out, okay? That's pretty much what's going on here. Now, we need to weather this storm, and in order for things to change, in order for things to be seeded, in order for things to grow, you need a collapse of the old world, of the old order, okay? And so a new dawn is approaching, but first we need to go through the storm, okay? And the waters are cleansing the earth and the consciousness and the frequency of the planet. The earth is upgrading as well into a new frequency. The earth has been here longer than we have, and she changes as well as we do, okay? And we have 3i Atlas in the picture as well, bringing in apparently assistance to help elevate our frequency and our consciousness. And you have to decide what kind of path are you going to take? What is going to be your timeline? Okay, what's the path here that you're going to take? Are you going to be a victim of what your circumstances are? Are you going to get caught up in the noise and the not kerfuffle, but of the drama of what is going on in the world? Because we are being asked to alchemize this so that we are our own internal sovereign. And that is what the Gnostics had. I don't know how I got sidetracked there, but we do not need a church to tell us how to find spirituality and how to find source or God. Sorry if you hear a big truck outside. Because as the Gnostic Jesus taught, okay, and I studied this is, I believe in a lot of different things, so let's just keep it at that. The Gnostic Jesus did not like the hierarchy and the, what's it called? The gatekeeping of God or source or the universe. It's within us. The divine spark is within us, and we don't need to be told how to live our lives and how to connect with source. There's too much control, and it seems that it's going to get even worse as before it gets better. Okay, so we need to shield ourselves from this. You see here how this Emperor Aries, he's sitting on this throne, and it's made to look very uncomfortable on purpose because he needs to not become complacent. Don't get too comfortable in things because you don't want to disrupt the status quo. Don't accept things that you don't agree with because you don't want to ruffle the feathers. He is ready to go at any moment's notice. He has his armor on underneath his cloak, and he is on guard. He is ready because he's sitting on an uncomfortable throne, which was made that way on purpose, because you never know where your threats are going to come from. And we need to alchemize what is happening right now instead of becoming the victim of it. What can you do in your circumstance? Wait, is this actually helping anything? How can you help the people in your circle, in your community? How can you maintain your frequency and not allow what's going on in the external world? Like, we can acknowledge what's going on. Doesn't mean that we're not saying it's happening, right? But we need to focus on what we can control on so we can help alchemize both our current environment and the collective's frequency. Because if we want to rebuild stuff, this is how we're going to rebuild it. This Knight of Wands, he is the master builder of the tarot. He has a lot of energy. He has impetuous energy. And you see here, he has the salamanders on his cloak, which means he's protected from fire or just in general. And if we're focusing on and lamenting on, being depressed about the current state of the world, and just being passive and not active in how we can change it, doesn't mean you have to go to your nation's capital and protest, because you know what, that's probably not even a useful thing right now. What can you do right now that can help you, your family, your community, and the global community? Because if you're focusing too much on the negative, you're not going to have an energy to build. Okay? And if we do that, then we're stepping into the Queen of Pentacles energy. She is fertile. She is abundant. And like I said, with this, what is it? What's in Taurus right now? Uranus is in Taurus again. So we might even see a down, people might lose some money, okay? But things are changing. The global financial system is changing. So that's another story for another day. But we might see some turbulence there. Okay, so make sure that you are solidifying yourself in precious metals, perhaps. You know, Taurus. I think that's Virgo, but she's an earth sign. Okay. Surround yourself with beauty. Surround yourself, make your environment somewhere that you want to be, and it's a safe haven from the external world. She's protective of what she has, and you should be. And if you have enough, you can share with others. But this is, if everyone focuses on how to create abundance, and abundance is not just money, abundance is time. Do you like working 40 hours a week or more for someone else, for the corporate behemoths, and you have debt and you can't even take a vacation and you hardly see your family? Is this what we want? This is not life, right? This is what are you working on to create the life that you want? Okay. Focus on creating the life that you want, and let the outside world happen. Don't let the outside world affect your frequency, and focus on what you can control, because otherwise your energy and your emotions are going to be depleted. That was nice. Sorry, I forgot to do the Oracle of the Hekatean path reading for this new moon as well. So we're going to shuffle it 3 times. Just pick one card today. And we have Zeus, Jupiter, right? And he's part of this water trine that we've got going on here today for this new moon. Okay, so the Uranus is his father, and he usurped him from the throne. And you can see here that Uranus is kind of like a disruptor, and you know, it's kind of like the Tower card. And the Tower card has the lightning coming, and it's a storm. He's a sky god. Okay, so that's really interesting that he is there. And yeah, let's see. And it says honors. Okay, so let's see what the book says here. Number 46. Zeus favored Hekate as much as any other man or god, not taking away any of the honor she had before the fall of the Titans. Through our own sovereignty, right? That's what I was saying before about us taking our sovereignty back, like the Emperor card. And knowing that we have the power within us, we have the divine spark. We don't need an external authority telling us what to do, right? Through our own sovereignty, we can access all of our potential gifts and abilities. No one can take them from us, as they were given to us for a purpose. Hekate, like Zeus, honors your current power and calls you to action. there's that, wow, there is that Knight of Wands, right? Doing something about it. Do not let yourself be taken advantage of. You are the queen or king of your own domain. Wow. What a way to end it. All right. Enjoy your new moon in Scorpio. Bye-bye.